Hello, everyone, and welcome to an introduction episode for the challenge run of the good campaign of Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle Earth. This episode will be split into four main sections. The first will be the rules, the second section will be exception to the rules, the third section is strategy, and the fourth section will be mistakes that I made from the optimal play and tips and tricks regarding the game and how game works. I will make one mention before we go into the main sections, and that mention is the fact that this challenge run is played on the release version of the game, patch 1.00, which will be very different. The strategies that you see here may not work as well if you play the game on the latest patch of the game, which is patch 1.03. That patch contained a lot of balancing changes for heroes, for units, and so on. So some strategies may not work. But I will also do this challenge run on the latest patch of the game. So don't worry about it. With this mention being said, I will go to the rules. The rules are as follow. We are not permitted to lose any squads that we have and have control of. The second rule is that we are not permitted to lose any heroes. The third rule is that siege equipment and ruined towers count as squads because siege equipment take command points and ruined towers you put squads in them, and when the tower dies the squad of soldiers of archers dies with them. In these rules are not included the catapults that you can buy as Gondor, as catapult towers, which you cannot use. They just stay there. You cannot move them from one place to another. Each is a defensive structure basically that can only be built on on Gondor castle walls. The next rule is the fact that we will do all 37 mission of the campaign, and we will complete all the bonus objectives. And finally, the last rule is that we will not use any summon powers. We get access to some summon powers, but the units that are summoned are timed, and when they expire, they disappear. And yeah, we will not use any of them. I consider disappearing squads as squads lost. Also, we will play the game on the hard difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty available. Now, we go to the second section, which is about the exception to the rules. There are two exceptions. One is regarding the rule about no squads lost, and I found out then in Osgiliath mission, uh, I cannot save all the squads because the game has a part in which it presents the objectives, the three bridges that I have to defend, and while he is doing that, the game runs, but I have no control over my troops. So the troops are in battle with the enemy, but I have no control over them, so I cannot retreat them. And in the middle bridge, there are two trolls who attack 3 squads of archers, and I found out that no matter how many times I restarted a mission, one squad of archers always dies before I can get control over them. So that means that I can only save 2 out of 3 squads of archers. The rest of the units that can be saved are saved. Um, Also, there is another mission in which is a friendly Gondor castle who is under attack, and yeah, I'm not sure that I can save all the friendly squads. So basically, what the AI does with his squads, even if he's an alien AI, I'm not responsible. I will try to save them if possible, but uh, if they lose some because they charge in the middle of enemy, then so be it. It's not my responsibility how they play. The AI plays, the friendly AI plays. In a good campaign, it's only one mission. Now, the second exception is regarding the rules of the rule of upgrading all heroes to level 10. Um, there are 2 heroes that are not upgraded to level 10, which is Frodo and Sam. This is because they appear in very few missions, and for the vast majority of the game I have no control over them. I could try to level them up to level 10, but it would take an insane amount of grind to do that, and I don't want to do it. I will be honest, I don't want to do it because it will be a few hours of grinding levels, and I will tell you more about why it would take so much in the fourth section of the introduction video. Uh, Now, Frodo will end up at level 5 or 6, and Sam at level 7, because Sam appears in one more mission than Frodo. Now, regarding the strategy, the third part of this video, introduction video, the strategy. Um, this game is there are 2 types of mission in this game. Some which are mandatory and you must do them in order to continue, and some that are optional and you can choose which one to do. Now, those missions that are mandatory, they became so after a certain number of free choose missions, and some of them are back to back, so you can have like 3 mandatory missions back to back. Now, the strategy is to make sure that my army is up to the par with each mandatory mission, and also that my army composition is um, that my army composition is uh, uh, it's meets the criteria in order to complete certain bonus objectives, because there are certain bonus objectives in that requires you to have certain upgrades that only certain troops can get. For example, get free shield upgrades, which only Rohirrim Lancers can get, or Gondor Knights. Now, what's worth mentioning is the fact that in the first part of the campaign we will play mainly as Gondor, and in the later part, including the last battle, we will start with Gondor and have Rohan as reinforcements. The last mission is Blackgate. In order to be as efficient as we can, we will do most of the army composition to meet the bonus objectives. We will do it with Rohan, and Gondor will be a full archer army. I chose archers over rangers because in this version of the game the rangers are very weak and poor. They don't have access to heavy armor upgrades, which makes them very squishy. Also, their range is not better than those of regular archers, and they don't really do more damage. This is based on my observation. So I choose to go with a safer version and get an army full of archers. Now with Rohan, in order to do the bonus objectives, we need to have in our army one squad of peasants that is combined with a squad of yeoman archer, um, 3 squads of Rohirrim lancers, and in order to get them the shield upgrade, we will need to have 3 squads of horse archers. The rest can be left empty, to say, because we can get a lot of elves after Helm's Deep. Now, in order to make Helm's Deep mission easier, till Helm's Deep we will go mainly for command points, and we will try to get the Cloudbreak power. What Cloudbreak does, it makes that when the enemy casts Darkness or Freezing Rain, it dispels those powers. In this version of the game, those powers are permanent, so they have no really expiration date. Only if the enemy or the ally like me, like good, cast Cloudbreak, then they are dispelled. If not, they stay there indefinitely. So Cloudbreak is really important in this. So we will basically go for heal, for Gandalf's increased power, Gandalf the White, and then for Cloudbreak, which is easily obtainable before Helm's Deep. Now, in Helm's Deep, there is a nice feature in which you get elves. You can recruit elves without having to level up your archery range to level 2. We will use that, and the optimal strategy is to use that to make an all-elven army which defends Helm's Deep, and leave enough gaps in the Eomer's army that came to the aid, so they will all be filled with elven archers. Also, we have to make sure that we keep our combined squad of peasants and yeoman archers a high enough level, so when the armies are combined, they will remain in the main army. Because the game has a mechanic in which if you go over your command point limit, it will trim your army. It will keep mostly the highest level units that you have. And I will talk more about what my mistake was regarding this one, which was due to a poor understanding of the game before starting the challenge. Also, we'll have to do with Rohan's army 5 missions that are specifically needed to be done in order to fulfill the bonus objective, which are Dunharrow, in which we need to have free shields upgrades, Emin Arnen, which is the other one with the free shields upgrade, and Emin Muil, Halifirian, and Anorian, which need to have a squad of peasant and archers combined, or soldier and archers combined. Like I said, with Gondor I go with full archers, so with Rohan I will keep one squad in order to do the bonus objective. And the bonus objective is completed even if the squad is already combined when you start the mission. You don't have to combine it in that mission. Now, this is basically the main strategy that we'll be using. As many archers as I can with Rohan, and also having 3 squads of Rohirrim Lancers and um, 1 squad of Yeoman Archers combined with 1 squad of Peasants, and the rest hopefully Elven Archers. This is the optimum play. Now I will go to the fourth section, which is mistakes that I made and tips and tricks. Now, one mistake that I made regarding optimum play is the fact that I thought that in order to complete the bonus objective of having one squad of combining 1 squad of yeoman archers with 1 squad of peasant, I have to do it in that mission. So what I did was keeping alive and high level 4 squads of um, 4 squads of peasants and 4 squads of archers, um, which I found out to be wasted command points. Command points that would have been better used in getting more elves, archers, elves or warriors, because elves can be both as warriors and melee fighters. Now, this is not such a big problem because basically Rohan's army in the second part of the game is mainly as a support army. But still it bugged me. So the optimal play is only keep 1 squad of peasants high level and the rest of the squads really low level. Level 1 at most. We will need like 4 squads of archers in order to get fire arrows with the Rohan forces, but that's not really important. We can do without fire arrows and yeah, get to the Helm's Deep mission, and in which the fire arrow upgrade is easily accessible. So that's also not that important. Now some tips and tricks that we can use. Um, After Helm's Deep, there are 2 more missions that are mandatory, which is Isengard and Northern Ithilien. After those mandatory missions, there are 2 missions in which you can choose um, to do it with either army, either Rohan or Gondor army. Now, if you choose to do them both with Gondor army, when you play Minas Tirith, you can summon the whole Rohan army that you had when you started the mission, which means about 500 supply worth of troops. If you do one mission with Rohan army, then that army gets trimmed down, and at Minas Tirith you will get only 300 supply worth of army. So if you choose to do those missions with Gondor, and I highly recommend that we do 2 missions with Gondor army in order to level up our archers, because the first part of Minas Tirith we will rely heavily on archers um, in order to have an easier mission of defending Minas Tirith. Also, one trick that you can use if you mess up some upgrades and that you need is to bombard with catapults your own troops. This can be done only by Condor forces. So you can order a catapult to bombard an area, which means that it will fire a projectile only to that area and keep one or multiple squads of units in that area. This will lower your supply cap if you are at maximum supply cap, or even if you're not. It will lower your supply cap and let you recruit more troops than the supply cap would allow. Also, if the troops are level 2, they will regenerate, so you don't have to worry about losing a squad by mistake. I will use this strategy on Minas Tirith in order to get free catapults so that I can get to the Flaming Boulder upgrade, which makes my catapults, even the wall mounted one, do 200 more damage, which is a lot and makes the mission a lot easier. Also, if you really want to, you can use the strategy to actually lower the supply even more and make 6 or 7 catapults so that you are able to destroy um, the battering ram that comes to take down the gate of Minas Tirith. And if you do that, the mission is easier. I didn't do it, and it was a bit harder, but overall not so much. I managed to do it just fine. Um, it was not as hard as I thought it would be. So basically, these are some tips and tricks regarding the game. Also, another thing that is regarding game mechanics is the fact that uh, how the troops gain levels. From what I could see, and it's a personal experience, is the fact that the first level that the heroes or even the troops get, they gain it very fast. Like if, let's say, a squad of soldiers goes for level 4 to level 5, they achieve that very quickly. It's like they have a bonus XP in order to get once per mission. Like the first level, each mission, they receive it very quickly. Now, if you try to go to another level, it likes the XP gain, it's very diminished. It's very hard to gain 2 levels with one hero or one squad of troops uh, on a particular level. This is also um, true, and I saw it especially when I use the power that Legolas or Faramir or Boromir or King Theoden have to give experience to troops. Uh, if they haven't got any experience or haven't got a level that mission, when you use those powers, they basically almost instantly gain a level. If they are low level, or you have to use it 2 or 3 times to gain a level if they are higher levels. If you use it again after they gain 1 level, then they will gain basically almost no experience. So it seems that there is a system in place in which each level for heroes and troops it's gained with a bonus to the experience that you gain for killing troops or using powers or yeah killing buildings. Now that's one thing that it's worth mentioning. um, and I guess I was thinking if there are more game mechanics and that can yeah make the life easier, but that's basically it. Um, you will see me use those mechanics quite a lot. You will see me use it especially in a mission in which I realized that with my Gondor army, 5 squads didn't get the fire arrow upgrade, which is a huge upgrade to get for all archers. So I have to bombard my troops a lot with catapults in order to get those upgrades. Anyway, it's also worth mentioning that at some bonus objectives we have to rush in order to do them, because what the game is doing is that if and that these bonus objectives are regarding save allied units. If the enemy managed to kill a single unit, you cannot save them anymore, and you are stuck with a bonus objective that cannot be completed. So it's important to know the maps and rush to get those allied troops in order to complete that bonus objective. Because if the enemy gets to them first, they will kill them, and yeah, we are left with without the possibility of completing the bonus objective. Also, an interesting note on how the AI works is, at least in this version, is the fact that the AI will rush. At the beginning of each mission, the AI will take its best troops. It starts with some upgraded troops, level 4, 5, 6, depending on the mission, and they will rush your base. So the easiest way of dealing with them is wait them at your base, make sure that you destroy every one of them, and then just mop up the map. Uh, if you can just go and do the map, but those troops will rush your base. So I had some instances in another campaign when I was playing normally in which I rushed out of the base and I saw my base getting attacked by the fully upgraded troops of the enemy. So it's always better to wait for them, destroy them, and then just continue on from there. Now, basically, these are all the tips and tricks and uh, the mistakes that I made during this campaign. And with all that being said, I hope that you will enjoy this challenge run, and um, we'll see each other in the challenge run. Bye bye.